So many people have died defending what we all believe in. These guys and girls are out there still doing it.
Get those guys over here, because it sounds like he's bleeding to death.
Yes. I pray for you, Sergeant Gene Vance, that your family would take comfort in knowing that you were trying to protect your country. Got the 2A positive guys here.
Yep.
If you need more, call back to the aid station. I got 08, we got 2 more standing by, and he's got 5 more.
Okay, get those guys over here, because it sounds like he's bleeding to death.
Yes.
One of the soldiers that we were expecting died. And this is really disheartening for all the doctors and the medics and the nurses here, because we were really looking forward to trying to save this guy's life. And so there's some pretty disheartened people here right now.
The injury that he had was a lethal injury. It's difficult to see American soldiers injured. It's obviously much more difficult to lose one. The people that we can help, we help, and the people that are beyond help are, you know, one of the bad parts about war.
We got hit pretty hard tonight, and I'm sure this is going to take an emotional toll on some of these guys that are trying their hardest to keep these soldiers alive.
The last time I saw him was actually on Valentine's Day weekend. We had a wonderful long weekend together that I consider to be a complete godsend. From what I've been told is every night he had a picture, our picture sitting by the bed, and every night he said goodnight to it, and he said, "I love Lisa," and all he talked about was how much our relationship meant to him.
I'm Chaplain Captain Terry Jarvis, and I'm en route to Ramstein Air Base for our fallen soldier detail. It's good for the troops to see that the dead is honored and that the dead is taken care of and not just put into the ground. It's important to see that all the special care is taken just to get one soldier back. I pray for you, Sergeant Gene Vance, that God would go with you, that you would know His peace, that your family would take comfort in knowing that you were trying to protect your country.
Ready, kneel. Ready, land. Check ground, up hinge, hold. Ready, pace. Ready, set. Forward, pause.
The Lord is my shepherd. I shall not be in want. He makes me to lie down.
I don't believe that people back home possibly understand the great sacrifice that is made. A young soldier that's fallen, who woke up that morning, who didn't know, he thought it was just going to be a normal patrol that day.
Even though I walk through the valley of the shadow of death, I will fear no evil.
I'm the mother of Staff Sergeant GENE Vance, nickname Buddy that we've always called him, which we got from his father. He was stationed in Afghanistan and he was killed this year.
We were planning for the honeymoon, we were planning to have a baby, we were planning to buy a bigger house, and he was going to go back to school and finish his degree. And that's what we talked about. It was all wonderful, happy things and the whole future.
My son, I think he was a hero and a very kind, gentle man. A child is a part of you. That bond is always there. And when you lose a child, it's like part of you is died. On 911, I knew that he wasn't coming back.
I keep telling everybody, I have no plans for my future now. Everything I planned, everything we had planned is defunct. I obviously don't need to buy a bigger house, and I'm not having a baby, and I'm not going on a honeymoon. There's a reason why we're there, and we're there for our freedom. We're there so that I can sit here in this house and not have to worry about getting killed when I go to my office. Yeah, there's a reason, and what they're doing is right. It's just terrible that it has to take the life of such a wonderful person. So many people have died defending what we all believe in. And these guys and girls are out there still doing it. So for me, they're my heroes. Last night there was a lot of operations going on about 30 clicks away from us. And my crew was up for the next patient. We were doing our usual things that we do to pass the time, checking our email, playing cards, harassing each other. And my medical crew director came into the tent and said that he had been over at the FST, which is where the forward surgical team is, and that
a call came in and they were rushing around for units of blood, and that one of the Special Forces guys had been injured, critically injured. And that he wanted me to go and check the equipment again and get our stuff together. So we waited and we waited and we waited. And kept waiting for them to call us on the radio to tell us to come back, that we were going to jump on an airplane to take our patient out. And the call never came, and when we got back to our side of camp, we found out that he didn't make it. I thought at first that I might know who he was. We lived with a lot of the Special Forces guys in and around the theater. I cut their hair, and you know, we'd go to chow with them, and I found out that it wasn't one of the guys that I know personally, but it didn't make it any less tragic. You know, he was going to be my patient, and then he wasn't. And the next morning when we got up, and I got up to go brush my teeth and wash my face, do my usual morning thing, and when I looked out, the flag was flying at half-mast. And that was pretty hard. And you know, I didn't even know this guy, but he was one of us. He was one of us.
If we look to the answer as to why for so many years we achieved so much, prospered as no other people on earth, it was because here in this land we unleashed the energy and individual genius of man to a greater extent than has ever been done before. Freedom and the dignity of the individual have been more available and assured here than in any other place on earth. The price for this freedom at times has been high, but we have never been unwilling to pay that price. Those who say that we're in a time when there are no heroes, they just don't know where to look. The sloping hills of Arlington National Cemetery, with its row upon row of simple white markers bearing crosses or stars of David, they add up to only a tiny fraction of the price that has been paid for our freedom. Each one of those markers is a monument to the kind of hero I spoke of earlier. Their lives ended in places called Belleau Wood, the Argonne, Omaha Beach, Salerno, and halfway around the world on Guadalcanal, Tarawa, Pork Chop Hill, the Chosin Reservoir, and in 100 rice paddies and jungles of a place called Vietnam. Under one such marker lies a young man, Martin TREPTOW, who left his job in a small-town barber shop in 1917 to go to France with the famed Rainbow Division. There on the Western Front, he was killed trying to carry a message between battalions under heavy artillery fire. We're told that on his body was found a diary. On the flyleaf, under the heading, "My Pledge," he had written these words: "America must win this war. Therefore I will work, I will save, I will sacrifice, I will endure. I will fight cheerfully and do my utmost as if the issue of the whole struggle depended on me alone." We must realize that no arsenal or no weapon in the arsenals of the world is so formidable as the will and moral courage of free men and women. It is a weapon our adversaries in today's world do not have. It is a weapon that we as Americans do have. Let that be understood by those who practice terrorism and prey upon their neighbors. As for the enemies of freedom, those who are potential adversaries, they will be reminded that peace is the highest aspiration of the American people. We will negotiate for it, sacrifice for it. We will not surrender for it now or ever. We are Americans.